Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. AITA for refusing guardianship and questioning my dad's decision to have a kid at his age. Fortunately, this is a one-time event. I am 37 years old, married to a 37-year-old man, and we have 4 children ranging in age from 4 to 12 years old. My father is 65 years old and is now engaged to be married for the 3rd time. My mother is the same age as him, his second wife is 50 years old, and his current wife is 40 years old. When he was married for the 2nd time, he had 2 children, ages 17 and 15. His kid is 6 months old already, which is great news for him. Upon the birth of my 15-year-old son, my husband, who was in charge of finances at the time, and I were chosen in my father's will to care for my siblings if the worst happened and they were left orphaned. To be honest, we were okay with it. We're still okay with it, to be honest. If this scenario happened tomorrow, there is no doubt that it would be very tough, but my siblings are already teens, so there would be no real hands-on care, and the burden would only be in place for a maximum of 3 years. It goes without saying that this is not the case with the baby. Our lives would be over if the worst happened tomorrow. My husband and I have chosen to have no more children and are taking the necessary steps to ensure that, and with our youngest now totally trained, we are looking forward to a diaper-free future ahead of us. So a few weeks ago, my father told us that he had modified his will and that he had, by default, designated us as the baby's legal guardians. I informed him that he needed to change it immediately since it was utterly unacceptable, and I gave him the reasons listed above. It didn't go down well with Dad at the time. The fact that I favored certain brothers over others, he believed, was tremendously unjust to him. The fact that I said categorically that this was not the case, though I do, of course, have a far closer connection with my adolescent siblings than with my baby sister. I'm in love with him, but I'm also concerned about my own children. The evolution of my own stance over the past 15 years has been tremendous. I suggested to my father that he consult with relatives of his wife's side of the family, but he declined because he believes they would not respect his wishes for raising the kid in the same way I would. I expressed my regret and said that I was unable to commit to this level of commitment. Then Dad started to argue that it is unfair since, at his age, he has a genuine need to know that his kid is receiving exceptional care from others. So I answered that he shouldn't have had another kid at his age, considering his situation. The conversation ended with Dad saying, "That's a nasty thing to say, and things have been uncomfortable ever since. My apologies for not being more understanding, but I stand by what I said. I'm not in a position to commit to this, and to be really honest, having a child at his age was a horrible decision that he should have thought about more seriously before embarking on this journey. Are you blaming me for my refusal to act as a guardian and for expressing my disagreement with my father's decisions?" Story 2. AITA for bluntly telling my sister I don't care if people think I'm homophobic. I'll admit that it's a mouthful, but it's necessary. However, as a point of reference, I, a 22-year-old man, have an older sister called Sky, 26 female. In my high school years, our mother, 48 female, cheated on our father, 48 male, and abandoned us to be with her boyfriend while I was in school. Our father went on and ended up dating Frida, 41 female, who happened to be the mother of Phil, 22 male, my bully, who never did anything except make fun of me. And as you are well aware, words can harm a lot of people. I pleaded with him not to be with her, and I mean that really, but he didn't listen. The fact that I had to follow him to their house was the most painful part. My sister was the only one who was able to see how distressed I was. I had to get away, so I went to my mother's house to be with her. My father took it personally and believed that I was only seeking to spite him by moving on from the situation. Only until Sky was able to secure her own apartment did I stay with my mother. After that, I moved in with her as soon as I possibly could. Although she never cut off connection with our father, which is logical given the fact that she was much closer to him than I was, and she never compelled me to see him or our mother. She did so in the case of our mother. For example, once I separated from my father, my high school experience just deteriorated worse, and university has been a goddamn blessing since everyone here is so pleasant and helpful. My graduation is in April, and I sent early invites to my father and mother, who had just finished their applications, but not to the families that they have established in their current positions. Father consented, but Frida and Phil were not invited because of Dad's insistence. I answered no and said that I was doing it to show to him that I am not homophobic. He was impressed. That caught me completely by surprise, but I refused to back down. It was just yesterday that I told my sister about it, and she informed me that since Phil is gay, his family has been telling everyone that I don't come over to see him because I'm homophobic. In her message to me, she said that she always supports and stands up for me, but she expressed her desire for me to reconcile with him, since it hurts her knowing that everyone we know believes the worst of me. I felt upset and bluntly informed her that she shouldn't bother, since I couldn't care less if everyone thought I was homophobic in my opinion. After that, she got quite upset and promised me that she would never stop protecting me, and I just puffed, and we didn't talk to one another for the remainder of the day. But after a lot of thought, I realized that I should not have said that to her, since she is not pressing for our reunion, and in fact, she is the one who defends me, and I am well aware that my tone was terribly hurtful. As a result, I'm on Reddit instead of studying for exams, since I feel like a big idiot and regret saying those things to her. Edit. In case anybody is asking, yes, my father is aware that I was bullied by Phil, but he does not believe it was true bullying. And my sister has a nice connection with my father and his new family, new kids and everything. She loves him, and I'm not going to make her pick between us. Update. So, since I've had a few DMS about it, I decided I'd update. So as soon as my sister got home from work, I apologized, and she forgave me. We spoke about it, and as many of you have mentioned, I can't risk this garbage spreading in case it damages my future employment chances. I've always been out of the closet in the sense that if you ask, I'll tell you, but if you don't, whatever. However, we decided that the best thing to do would be for me to formally come out, since I don't want to contact or message all of the particular relatives in my father's family who have been talking this about me. If they still believe them after that, it's their fault. Regardless, I came out as on Facebook and Instagram, updated my accounts to reflect my orientation, and had a coming out party to which my friends and some of these family were invited, kept in line with restrictions. It was a wonderful party, but it felt strange since I felt like I was flaunting and I'm not sure I'll do it again. But yes, I believe one possible calamity has been prevented. Since then, things have been going well. My mother paid me a visit and expressed her pride that I was being true to myself while also apologizing for everything she had done to cause us to be so apart. I'm not sure whether we'll see one another again, but we've been chatting every day since then, and it feels nice. My father has not phoned or texted me at all. Phil wrote me, congratulating me on my decision to come out and apologize for everything without truly apologizing. Frida, on the other hand, contacted me weeping and apologized for everything, saying she was proud of me for coming out. We spoke about everything, and I believe we've reached an agreement with my father. My sister informed me that following the announcement, Dad was really out of sorts and felt terrible about what he had done. She offered to arrange up a meeting, but he refused, claiming that he didn't deserve one and that he needed to ask me himself. She also informed me that she had overheard Frida berating him for distancing me and Phil for how he behaved on several occasions. At the end of the day, my father hasn't contacted me. Part of me hopes he will, but maybe it is better if he does not. So, due to you, I was able to take action and resolve that problem.